Do you have any beliefs?
No.
Do you think it's worth describing what we mean by belief here quickly? I mean, to deal with the semantics of whether, this is a belief system and you just believe you don't have any beliefs, this is not a belief, may be a belief in itself, mightn't it?
Well, I guess the easiest way to go into it is to talk about life beyond personality and what we're discussing here. And some people would say Jez has beliefs about this subject that he's talking about. And I would say these aren't my beliefs. What I know about this subject and what I'm talking about is not arising from beliefs that I have. So what is a belief? I think a belief is somebody saying, I believe this is the truth, this is the way things are. So there's a leap of faith. There's not somebody saying, I know it's this way. And I think that's the difference. So that's why, for me, beliefs are a very different thing. And in this business, I'm talking about knowing. Now, that sounds like a kind of a grand thing. But I would say that waking up and this whole subject of life beyond personality is kind of built on what I call knowing, with a capital K. Now, what that knowing is, where it comes from, how it arises, is for me all part of the big mystery. So I don't have a belief that there is a God up there, or that there is a kind of some sort of a brotherhood implanting or placing or allowing that knowing to open in this brain or this system. So I don't, that would be a belief for me. But the knowing bit, the knowledge of what this is not a belief either, because that is just something that is known from my own experience. So I think the difference is, if you say, I believe Timbuktu is like this, it's a belief until you go to Timbuktu. If you've been to Timbuktu, you can say, Timbuktu is like this. I've touched the earth. I've spoken to the people. I know what Timbuktu is like from my experience. So for me, that's like a big difference. Religion deals with belief. Religion deals with, I believe there's somebody up there looking out for me, or if I do this, they will treat me well, or I will have good karma, or whatever you believe in. Those are all beliefs. That's something very different from knowing.
I was just looking at something. Remember I said how finding explanations for things is one of the earliest... Finding explanations for things is one of the earliest skills we develop as humans, or we show. We don't like uncertainty, and it just made me think, well, you can just imagine then what the personality is going to do with uncertainty. It will create beliefs to get rid of the uncertainty and pretend it knows them,
fill that gap.
Yeah
Exactly. And you could argue that therefore it's a good thing, because people feel better and they feel safer. But in this business, as I keep calling it, this is not about covering up the cracks or just making you feel safer. In fact, often it's a journey into feeling unsafer. This is about finding out what is true of our human experience here. So if you're interested in just having a safer or a more comfortable ride through life, this isn't for you. But if you're interested in finding out what this is about, or not even that, if you're interested in finding out why am I suffering, you may be led in this direction.
When we first started having these discussions, I remember feeling beliefs I had being challenged. So I had some new agey beliefs. I mean, one of them was that rather than some sort of sky god coming down and waving a magic wand and making everything okay, humanity would evolve and we'd all, evolve into better people and the world would be great. It was challenging though, this hope in a better world, kept me going, sustained my personality. So I can understand why, this is not for most people, I mean, the sometimes architecture or machinery that can help personalities get through the darkest time is based in hopes and beliefs and all that.
Yeah.
You know, when you said, you know, you didn't share those beliefs, you know, or most of them, or well, you don't have beliefs. You know, because I trusted you and I knew that you were, you know, quite smart about this sort of stuff. But it's like, you know, what do you call it? A whole architecture, a whole structure one has to support you taken away.
Yeah, and that is the architecture of personality. And of course, as you say, most people don't want to tamper with that. First of all, they don't think they can tamper with it because they think that is what is real and that is who they are. See, beliefs, for me, are not the kind of pathway to finding what's true and what's real and what's free. That's why beliefs are kind of not a negative, because as you said, beliefs serve a purpose. But in terms of this, they're kind of defunct. They work against finding this. So they're not the bogeyman, but it's just like you leave something aside if it's not serving you in what you're walking towards. You would abandon it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's where beliefs stand in this. Beliefs have to go. Beliefs are clouding your clear vision. Beliefs are what personality, as you say, hangs on to make you feel safe. Who said this is about feeling safer?
It's so the opposite of what most religions say, isn't it? You know, if you don't have faith, your fault for not having faith. Yeah. You know, this is not happening. Your faith isn't strong enough. Your beliefs are not strong enough. Yeah. You know, you'll get closer to God if you believe, and actually, you know...
Yeah, that's how they can control you. I mean, beliefs are also very linked, obviously, with control. You know, you believe a guru is coming from the right place, and you think they're the doorway to nirvana or whatever your idea is of this, and you will go through anything and put up with anything and look away from all sorts of aberrations and things going on, because of that belief. So that belief is stopping, you see, life as it is. Here we come to it. There's beliefs and there's life as it is. Beliefs are like a filter that, you know, on the computer you can have this photo in the app to take photos.
Instagram put filters on.
Yeah, you can put filters.
Or masks even, you know, digital masks on your face that move when you move.
Right. So in a sense, beliefs act like that. They're like a filter that alter the clear image of what you want to take the photo of or whatever. So they actually obstruct seeing life as it is. So this is where it comes back to me. There's beliefs and there's life as it is. And in this, the pathway to this, or the direction of this is seeing life as it is. I always come back to that phrase.
So what would you think if someone said, "Oh yeah, I've seen Jez Albrecht stuff. I really believe what he's saying"?
Well, I would say please don't find out. That's the difference. Find out for yourself. If you find out for yourself, then you will be in a kind of very different relationship to me than if you believe what I say. If you believe what I say, one day you'll probably drop that belief, and then you'll make me wrong and all of that bullshit.
So you're asking people don't believe what you say?
Absolutely not.
And that's why I guess then this is not a belief system, because, you know, you're saying there are no beliefs, don't believe anything.
No, not that there are no beliefs.
No, in this teaching, in Life Beyond Personality, or what you're not asking people to believe you, to become believers, to believe anything.
What good does that do? That does the opposite. Religion is built on belief, and this is built on no belief. So it's a pathless land. It's totally different, and because of that, there's religion gives you safety, and this takes away that safety, at least at a stage of it.
There are people who have experiences beyond personality, and they start amazing belief systems.
Yeah.
And again, the question is, you know, how do you know you're not there? I mean, I would say, well, you know, because of what we've just said, that you don't want anyone to believe anything, and there are no beliefs involved in this.
I'm not creating a belief system. I'm saying something as a hypothesis that people can find out if it's true or not. So they're using me as a kind of
guide,
touchstone, a guide. But you know, it's like I'm saying provocative things perhaps, or going into and discussing certain areas which then allow the listener to explore those areas through those concepts and through the things I've said. But always, it's like it's a hypothesis until you've experienced it. But if you have that yearning or that feeling, then you will listen, because it's useful to you to find out until you have that experience. That's how it worked for me when I listened or saw teachers. You know, it's like they know something that I'm interested in, and I'm using what they're saying to help me find my own experience of it. That's surely the true role of a teacher. That's what it's all about. It's not about anything to do with control or domination. It's a gift, it's an invitation that is hopefully well laid out and expressed and done with love and without any coercion or any personality involved. But of course, what you mentioned was when personality does come back in and get involved, and then he gets dragged down into something else which is not about this.
Can I ask when you started realising that beliefs were not helpful in this inquiry, and what impact that had on you?
I can't think of one thing, but I think I started to see other people having beliefs, and I could see that they weren't about what was true. They were about what they wanted to be true. So that's the difference. And then I guess part of the inquiry is seeing, well, what beliefs do I have? And in a way, you don't even have to do that, because everything gets exposed. In this, everything gets exposed. There's this kind of ripping open of the whole workings of the personality and what you've taken yourself to be.
While I was listening to that, something just got a part of my brain thinking about my beliefs about myself. That I have. I mean, sometimes I believe I'm great. Sometimes I believe I'm awful.
And either way lead to suffering. If you think you're rubbish, there's just lack of self-love. There's no harmony there. There's no peace in that. If you believe you're great, you might feel great for a while because you're pumped up, but there's going to be a come down from that, and you will be shown that you're not great in the way that belief thinks you are. So they'll be suffering from that. So there you are. A belief leads to suffering. So it's not just that they lead away from this understanding. They lead actually towards suffering. If in this life you wake up, you will feel that there is a before and after, and the life is cut into duality, right?
Wow.
To enter oneness, one sees a duality of what happened in this relative level, and there is a before and after, and this is not the same. It can't be the same. And one provided a lot of stability before that the after doesn't really supply. There's a stability in this in one sense. There's this constancy I talked about. But you don't have, without a belief system which gives you a kind of solid ground to hang on to, there's this falling. And I think some people have described it as this like falling without any landing.
Wow. And
that is my experience too. So it's almost like something gets acclimatized to living like that. But living like that is living with an openness that is unknown in the personality.